Hey, what's up guys? My name is Sal, and this is another expedition log. On today's episode, we're traveling out to Phillipsburg, New Jersey, to see a 500,000 square foot rural mall, built by none other than Crown American, who's known for making gorgeous rural malls. When I visited this place, the Sears was in its last days of operation, and it's actually in worse shape now. But I wanted to show you this footage because I think it's important to show what a mall can go through in its final stages of life. The footage you're about to see is from January of 2018, when the Sears was closing, and I will release an update to the Phillipsburg Mall once its story has developed a bit more. So I'll keep an eye on it, and when I think the time is right, I'll revisit and I'll give you guys an update. So come take a walk with me in the Phillipsburg Mall, an ashen shadow growing darker every day, cast by the radiant, beautiful blue glow of neon skylights. But first, a word from our sponsor, High Karate Cologne for Men.
Hey, how about a movie tonight, huh?
Wow, what's that aftershave you're wearing?
New High Karate Aftershave is so powerful, it drives women right out of their minds. That's why we have to put instructions on self-defense in every package. High Karate, the brisk splash-on aftershave that smooths and soothes and cools. High Karate, aftershave, cologne, and gift sets. High Karate, be careful how you use it.
In 1980, Willimantic Investors Incorporated of Westport, Connecticut paid $895,000 for a 158-acre tract of New Jersey farmland along Route 22 in Powhatan and Lepatcong townships, in which this land touches Phillipsburg, New Jersey. Word began to spread in 1984 that Pennsylvania-based Crown American developers wanted to build a mall in Phillipsburg, New Jersey. Town officials seemed to have no clue of these plans, however, and Thomas Kusopius, who was the principal engineering aide for Phillipsburg, New Jersey, simply said, "That's news to me," when he was asked his thoughts on the mall's announcement. Crown American signed a 2-year option on the land in September of 1984 with Willimantic and officially announced plans to develop the $40 million, 580,000 square foot Phillipsburg Mall at the intersection of Interstate 78 and Route 22 to include 3 anchor stores: Hess's, which was a subsidiary of Crown American, Sears, and Bradley's. They made tentative plans to open 2 other anchors in the future, which would increase the total size of the mall to 816,000 square feet. As I said in the introduction to this episode, the Sears was closing when I was here. This was in January of 2018. This is what a liquidation would look like in a store that was just selling everything. You can see that the fixtures are for sale. They were selling the back office computers, the peripherals, all the components, anything that this place could get their hands on to sell and just make a little bit of money back, they were selling it.
I believed back then that massive change was coming to retail, and with massive change comes massive opportunity. If the world of retail was going to be stable, it would have been much more difficult to create something different. There'd be no Amazon, just a larger Walmart, and there would not have been the opportunity for Sears to break from the pack once again and change the face of retailing like it always had in the past. As we all know, we haven't capitalized on this opportunity the way I would have liked. Instead of growth and investment, we have faced retrenchment and restructuring.
Much like other mid-sized rural malls, the local community took issue with the increased traffic and possible sewage issues that might have arisen due to the mall's construction and existence. Before the first steel or concrete could be laid, the EPA gave Phillipsburg, New Jersey until 1988 to upgrade its sewage systems to handle up to 3.5 million gallons of sewage per day. The rehabilitation and improvements would cost anywhere between $3.5 and $6.6 million, and until the improvements were made, the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection imposed a moratorium on new high-volume hookups, including the Phillipsburg Mall. On August 14, 1986, Crown American broke ground among 100 guests under a yellow and white tent, but still faced a construction moratorium until the sewage plant was upgraded, so they were just digging dirt, literally just digging dirt. By February of 1987, Crown American had begun the grading, or the leveling work for the mall. In December of the same year, the developers announced that the opening of the mall would be pushed back to at least early 1989 due to the same sewage issues. They stated that it takes anywhere between 12 and 15 months to complete construction of a mall, but that they would keep working on the preliminary site work to keep the construction time as short as possible. Though construction wasn't yet started, in August of 1988, the mall announced that most of the stores that would be opening at the grand opening have already leased the space, and they set a preliminary opening for October of 1989. By February of 1989, they officially announced that the mall would open in September of the same year. In May of 1989, Crown American decided to pull Bradley's as an anchor because the retailer was struggling and selling off stores left and right, and Kmart replaced Bradley's and took over their lease. On Sunday, September 24th, 1989, the grand opening of the Phillipsburg Mall took place. The ribbon cutting occurred at 11:30 a.m., and festivities included strolling entertainment and an ice cream social. JCPenney was added as the mall's fourth anchor on March 7, 1990. 11 days of celebration were planned with events such as meet and greets with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the Joker, Batman's arch nemesis. Other events included Keep Sleeping Beauty Awake, where kids would have to tell jokes to Sleeping Beauty to keep her from falling asleep. It was such a simple time back then. Kids would wake up early on Saturday to watch cartoons at a specific time. They had to go knock on their friends' doors and dial numbers by memory if they wanted to hang out. And they went outside and played in the woods and ditches, and they used their imagination. The 1990s, in my opinion, were the last vestige of simplicity before the rise of the internet. In September of 1994, Crown American would sell all 30 of its Hess's department stores, including the location at Phillipsburg. York, PA-based Bon-Ton paid $60 million for 20 of the Hess's stores, and the other 10 went to the May Department Store Company. By 1995, the Hess's was fully converted into Bon-Ton. AOL had over 20 million unique subscribers logged in. OJ was found innocent. Timothy McVeigh bombed the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building in Oklahoma City, and Michael Jordan came out of retirement in the NBA. In theaters at the time, we had Toy Story, which was the very first wholly computer-generated film, along with Batman Forever, Apollo 13, Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls, Casper, Braveheart, and Die Hard with a Vengeance. Musical artists topping the charts at the time were Weezer, Smashing Pumpkins, Rage Against the Machine, Van Halen, Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, Alanis Morissette, Madonna, and Janet Jackson. The Grateful Dead announced their breakup in 1995 as well. It was a busy year. Over the coming years, the mall began its decline, starting with the removal of the food court, which was called The Grove, to make room for an H&M, which opened in 2001. Then in 2002, after a bankruptcy filing, the Kmart shuttered. In November 2003, Pennsylvania Real Estate Trust bought out Crown American and its 27 malls in a $1.2 billion deal. The next 10 years were a peaceful time for Phillipsburg Mall. The old Kmart space was taken over by a Kohl's, and there were a few robberies here and there, but the mall remained relatively silent. By 2013, sales were averaging about $230 per square foot, which wasn't great, and it sold the mall for $11.5 million to Great Neck, New York-based Mason Asset Management. The owner of Mason Asset Management, Elliot Nassim, promptly announced plans to upgrade the mall, which was only about half occupied at the time. On January 15, 2014, JCPenney announced that the company would be closing 33 of its stores, resulting in the loss of about 2,000 jobs by the end of the year. The Phillipsburg Mall location was included in this list and closed in May of that year. Several quality tenants would also leave between 2013 and 2014, including American Eagle, FYE, Gap, Pacific Sunwear, Aeropostale, Christopher & Banks, Deb, and Littman Jewelers. Nearing 60% vacancy, it gained Lehigh Vapor and a Gold's Gym in 2014. Black Rose Antiques opened in the former JCPenney space in January of 2017. I've seen these scattered across some rural Pennsylvania malls, and I always find some super weird trinkets in there and lots of creepy old dolls. Sears Holdings announced the closure of 63 Sears and Kmart stores across the country, and the only Sears on the list in New Jersey was the one at the Phillipsburg Mall, which would close in January of 2018 when this was filmed. In November of 2017, the Bon-Ton was over $1 billion in debt and announced plans to close over 40 stores in 2018, including the Phillipsburg Mall location, which closed in April of 2018. As it stands today, the only anchors left are Black Rose and Kohl's, with a handful of stores, and I just wouldn't give Phillipsburg Mall much more time. But I will revisit it at some point in the future and release an update. I'd like to thank all of you for watching this video, and especially my patrons. Every dollar counts, and some of you are even donating more than that, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate that, and it really helps me to get out to these places and film. And all of those in the Dead Malls of Discord family, thank you guys so much. We're almost at 12,000 subscribers, so thank you guys so much for engaging with the channel and all the awesome comments and conversations we get into. And I have a ton more content coming, and we're about to kick off the Gulf Mall tour of the holidays. So thank you guys so much, and stay tuned for some amazing holiday content, which will be coming out very soon. Take care, everybody.